We got to go to Cincinnati and bring in our guy, Mo Egger. The Bengals are the AFC North pennant winners for the first time since 2015. They knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs on the weekend. Yes, 34-31. Hey, was that, Mo, the game, clearly the game of the year? Was that the game of the decade for the Cincinnati Bengals in your mind?
One of the most significant in the history of the franchise, and it was like the perfect storm of stuff, too. It was the opponent, it was the stakes, it was the crowd, it was the way in which they won, it was the weirdness of the last couple of minutes, it was some of the coaching decisions that were made, but I think more than anything, it was I think the results of 2 years of hype over Joe Burrow and what this offense can do and all of that manifesting itself against the team that has kind of been the standard setter in the AFC.
Absolutely. By the way, pump the brakes. I like what you got going on there. You've been doing a lot of these interviews with that mic set up at ESPN 1530. You're sounding tight, man.
We just moved studios. I think the last time I talked with you, I was like in a closet. I was like trying to find the best place where we didn't just have stuff everywhere. And so the TV behind me doesn't work yet, but the microphone does. and after the last 2 weeks that we've had in this building, that is frankly a minor miracle.
Don't I know it? Mo, the viewers, by the way, the followers are saying the reason of the Bengals' success is the uniforms. They got long memories, these people. What do you think?
Well, that's how you landed on my radar. That was the beginning of our friendship here, right? You went on and said, "Hey, the Bengals are getting new uniforms. They're still going to suck." That's an exact quote. They're still going to suck, and so we took that and ran with it. I don't think there's any direct correlation between the uniforms and how well the team has played, but I think they look sharper than they have, and on the field they look better than they have. So maybe you had something to do with it. Maybe they should send you some AFC North Championship gear so you can get rid of that money.
Wouldn't that be something? Well,
yeah.
As I say, I may not always be right, but you'll always know what I'm thinking. I saw your poll the other day. Should Joe Burrow be sat down in the regular season finale? What were the results of that, Mo?
I think about 70% say, yeah, he should be sat down. And about 25 minutes ago, he confirmed that he is not going to play. He's not going to play in the game against the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, there's still the possibility. Look at that. I got like a cord dangling here. That looks good, doesn't it? That's
okay.
Nothing best. Here, let's do this. I tried to make sure that wasn't a thing, but what the hell? So he's not going to play. And yes, there's still an outside shot that they could improve to the number 1 seed. They're going to need Kansas City to lose to a team with a losing record. They're going to need Tennessee to lose to a team with a losing record. They're going to need to beat the Browns, and they're going to need some other stuff to happen as well, a Buffalo loss or a New England loss. And so the chances of the Bengals elevating themselves to the number 1 seed in the AFC are really, really small. They're not large enough, I think, to risk compromising what is their biggest asset. Their biggest asset is their health. They've been really lucky this year, both from a COVID standpoint, although that is starting to infiltrate the team a little bit, but from a pure sort of traditional, if you will, sports injury standpoint, they've been able to keep most of their main guys healthy. In 2005, the Bengals played a playoff game with a backup quarterback for all but 2 plays. They lost that football game. In 2015, they played with a backup quarterback against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost that football game. If ever there's a fan base that should understand the value in having your main guy, your starting quarterback available, that to me transcends who they play, where they play, when they play. The most important thing is to, as best as they can, keep their primary asset, which is their health, intact, and keep their most important player on the field in the playoffs. And so by sitting Joe Burrow out on Sunday, by the way, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. They beat the Browns and Case Keenum with Brandon Allen, their backup quarterback. But at the end of the day, they're doing everything they can to protect Joe Burrow, and I think that's the right move.
The viewers want to know, Mo, how far you see the Bengals going. So they're in the playoffs. How far? Has the S word been brought up in your town?
Has been and should be. And look, they will not be considered Super Bowl favorites. To me, that road goes through the Kansas City Chiefs, and that should be the case. They've won this conference each of the last 2 years. They were an eyelash away from winning it the year prior. So you've got to figure out a way to beat Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and that's going to be tough to do. It was tough to do for this team on Sunday. But, man, when you've got a quarterback playing at the level that Joe Burrow has played these last 2 weeks, the sky really is the limit. And the AFC, I'm not sure there's anybody who really terrifies you, right? Like the Bills are formidable. I'm not sure they scare me. The Patriots are formidable. I'm not sure they scare me. The Titans are formidable. I don't think they're insurmountable. And you could apply this to the Raiders and to the Colts and to the Chargers or whoever else might make it. When you're getting high-end quarterback play and when you have the weaponry the Bengals have, I think they have a chance to be in every game. And, does that mean they win every game? No, but I do think they have it in them to make a run. And, people here will say, well, tap the brakes. They haven't won a playoff game since 1990. Let's take care of that first, and then we'll worry about, winning a conference championship or playing in the Super Bowl or anything like that. But as much as the future for this franchise really seems to be bright, you simply don't know. You don't know what next year holds. You don't know what the future holds. You've got a shot now, and so I actually think it's pretty important for this franchise to take advantage of the shot they have. And I think from an offensive standpoint, they're equipped to do it. And yes, they have flaws, but frankly, so does everybody in the AFC.
Maybe if the Bengals do something, they start to get some notoriety because you never hear Zach Taylor's name in the conversation for Coach of the Year. But I want to get your take on what he's done. Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber quarterback. Not every day do you win that black and blue division that they're in. What do you like about Zach Taylor, your head coach?
I like the fact that when things were going really, really poorly, it felt like he maintained a really even keel. I think you and I have talked about this. Those first two seasons, every conceivable factor that could conspire against a head coach did, from the timing with which he got the job to injuries to, holdovers from the previous regime that never really wanted to play for him, to Joe Burrow's injury last year, to having a rookie quarterback in a COVID atmosphere. I mean, if it could go wrong, it did. And if it could work against Zach Taylor, it did. And yet I sort of felt like he did a pretty good job of keeping the team together. In those first 2 years, I never watched the Bengals and thought, well, it feels like they've tuned out their coach, or it feels like the coach has lost this team. They needed better players. They certainly in that first year needed a better quarterback. But I thought Zach did a pretty good job of just sort of keeping things together to the best extent that he could. But at the end of the day, he was going to go into year 3 being evaluated by, does he win football games? And the answer has been yes. And the primary reason why is Joe Burrow. Well, why did you hire Zach Taylor, a former quarterback, an offensive guy? You hired him because you might not have known that Joe Burrow was going to be the starting quarterback, but at some point they were going to be transitioning from Andy Dalton to someone else. And so to me, Zach Taylor was hired because you felt like he was the guy best equipped to turn the franchise over to someone else and groom whoever someone else is. And so as much as Joe Burrow might be a great natural talent and as much as he might possess all the characteristics that you're looking for from a franchise quarterback, I think you have to at least not ignore the role that coaching has had in that. And that to me starts and ends with Zach Taylor. By the way, this is a good look, isn't it? Like I like one flap up. I'm like Jeffrey Leonard. One flap down, one flap up.
You're used to radio. Trust me, I get it. Hey, my last one for you, Mo, is from Ryan. He's watching in Saratoga, New York. He says, I'm curious to know if Mo believes the Cincy Bearcats can repeat their feats from this year and make the college football playoff as a member of the Big 12 next season.
Well, I don't know that the Big 12 is going to happen next season. They would like for it to. Chances are that Big 12 membership will commence in 2023. So I think they're going to have at least one lame duck season in the American Athletic Conference and perhaps two, but it feels like 2023 is the year. I think it's awfully tough to expect them next season to make the college football playoff. This program has the last couple of years enjoyed great continuity, same coach, same quarterback, same coordinators, a lot of the same guys coming back from year to year. That's all being disrupted. Their offensive coordinators off to LSU, their special teams coordinators off to Notre Dame, their quarterback is off to the NFL, their best players are all off to the NFL or to graduation. And so I think this is going to be a bit of a transition season. I would stop short of saying it's going to be a rebuild because the recruiting has been so good. But look at what they did this year. They went 13-0. And did what no other Group of 5 school has done. Now, do I think they can use this season to put themselves in a place where they can hit the ground running in the Big 12 and be a factor in the Big 12? If the recruiting is as good as we think it has been, and if Luke Fickell is as good as we think he is, then I think the answer is yes. But they've got a lot of uncertainty going into 2022, and that really hasn't been the case the last couple of years, because at this time of year, in each of the last 2 years, and to a degree 3 years, I could tell you who the coordinators were going to be. I could tell you who the quarterback was going to be. I could tell you who some of the main guys were going to be. And you really can't do that right now. So this is going to be a challenging year, but this program is positioned for long-term success. And I do believe, especially without Oklahoma in the Big 12, I do believe this program can get back to a college football playoff in pretty short order.
Love it. The alma mater of CFL greats Zach Caleros and Danny Barrett. Mo, what's coming up on your show today? Bengals, Bengals, Bengals?
Oh, pretty much wall-to-wall Bengals today. Yeah, I mean, that's, it's interesting. We've gone from all the hype over UC football and the college football playoff to now where we're all set. It's wall-to-wall Bengals. So we're obviously going to talk extensively about Joe Burrow not playing on Sunday. And, we might even do the old, who would you rather play sort of thing, because that's sort of a staple of late regular season NFL radio markets. So we might do that today as well.
Good for you, man. Enjoy it. Well, hey, Happy New Year, and we're following closely. Thanks for the time, pal.
You got it, man. Thanks so much. Good to see you.
Mo Egger from ESPN 1530 Cincinnati.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.